This is a yelling podcast. From poking at you to plans and everything in between, this is Magnified Pod, the only podcast that discusses culture, religion, politics, and the entire discography of everyone's favorite left coast punks, MXPX. Mm-hmm. And we are back, motherfuckers.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. John, this is our 15th episode.
All right.
We've made it. We've survived for that long. And because of that reason, I brought along a little bit of Chicago's finest Koval single barrel bourbon whiskey, distilled in Chicago. They use organic ingredients. Mm-hmm. They use local grains.
Yeah.
And they're actually, Koval is one of the reasons. Have you done their?
I just did do the tour, yeah.
You did the tour. Did you do any like the classes or anything?
No,
or like the tastings?
No, but they do the like, come by and help us mash stuff and things like that, which I've never done, but I've always wanted.
Yeah, so if you hit up Koval, if you're ever in Chicago, totally worth it. They're amazing. But they're actually one of the reasons that craft distilling has exploded around the country, because Chicago, like many other states, had antiquated liquor laws still on the books. And so Koval, when they were starting, they had to literally undo laws so they could get permits to distill in Chicago. Chicago has a bunch of old bananas liquor laws.
I mean, legalistic people suck. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and legalism makes me sick, but this whiskey is dope. It's super good.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know how good of an idea it is starting off the pod with bourbon, but you know what?
That will also include wine drinking.
Yes,
later.
We are going to be taste testing the Anchor Valley wines.
Yeah, we are.
Later with our wives.
Yeah, Wife
Pod joining us to taste the wine, discuss it, just, have a conversation about it, whatever.
Tell us when they first heard of MXPX.
I think I can answer that for Dana right now.
6 months ago.
No, she knew about MXPX because the summer, I think I've said this on the pod before, but the summer we started dating in 2003, I played her "Do Your Feet Hurt."
That's right, of course.
Because I was like, this is a romantic song. Obviously. Like, this is, I love you and I care about you, so therefore I'm going to play the song that I think is super romantic. Mm-hmm. "Do Your Feet Hurt, Did You Fall From Heaven?"
You were correct.
I was correct. And she wanted to put a ring on it. Yeah. So nailed it.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Thanks.
We've been taking rides on the same Vespa ever since.
That's right. We rode away from our wedding, on a Vespa and just blasting life in general.
Yeah.
People weren't throwing rice. It was just, it was actually a mosh pit leaving the wedding. We had to throw punches and throw bows to get out.
Like crazy circle pit.
Circle pit. We were, after we said our vows, we stage dived. I guess.
That would be great.
Yep. It was the most punk wedding ever. So John, speaking of drinking alcohol.
Yes.
This has been a big MXPX week. Big week. So they not only released a video, there's a video for every song now on the new album. And I'm going to assume that MXPX heads that listen to this pod have already watched every single music video. And if you're like me, you have watched some of them multiple times.
Yeah.
Because they're so great.
Yeah.
But also Silver City Brewing partnering with the band again for Best Life IPA.
Yes.
And John, I had to jump on that.
You got to get your IPA.
Yes, I'm a big hophead.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep.
And so I was pumped to see that it was going to be an IPA. Now I never got any of the Secret Weapon beer that they did, unfortunately. But I just based on the description, I am pretty pumped about it because it almost seems like, and this is a little weird since it's a left coast, it's not Bremerton. Where are they based?
I think it is Bremerton.
Is it Bremerton? Are they based in Bremerton?
Seems like the kind of thing we could have done some research on, but you'd be wrong.
Research?
I thought that.
But anyway, the description sounds like a New England IPA.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it's sort of like a hazy, juicy, hoppy IPA, which is my jam.
It is a jam. They are in Bremerton.
They're in Bremerton. Okay. Yep. Well, then do you know if this is Andy Husted's brewery?
We talked about this before too.
Yeah.
Again,
this is one of those things that this is our favorite part of the podcast when we Google.
Vamp while Googling.
That we vamp while Googling.
Yes,
but anyway,
he is the co-owner.
Okay, so that makes sense. So, but this will not be the first time we bring up Andy Husted on this pod today.
Former MXPX guitar player.
The original
magnified plaid guitar player.
He's also, not only does he co-own Silver City, but
co-owns this podcast.
Co-owns this podcast.
He's got a stake in the studio.
Andy, I know you have been silent through most of this pod as you stand in the corner for each episode.
Hey guys.
Hey Andy, how's it going?
Good job.
Really excited to try your Best Life IPA.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thanks, Andy.
We'll have you back on soon.
Yep.
So it's going to. I pre-ordered 4 4-packs.
Yes.
So
that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we will. Mike, you keep putting out booze. We will.
We're obviously going to keep drinking.
We're going to keep drinking all the booze. So it's going to be a good time at Magnified Studios West.
I think. Releasing all the videos, every last remaining song on the album to have a video, and releasing news of a beer on the same day, like
so smart.
What a smart move in 2018.
This is so. Speaking of Dana, I told Dana that they released a music video for every song they have, and it was like 9. I think it was 9 because they'd only released 2 music videos before that. And she was like, well, why would they do it all at once? Why wouldn't they do one and then do another one?
Right.
And my thought was, well, what you're essentially doing is doing this is like a big media blast.
Yeah.
And so you're getting essentially people to listen to the entirety of your album through music videos.
Yep.
So
Smart.
people who might not have heard the album or heard most of it, they'll be like, oh, maybe I'll check out the music videos or whatever. Right. And then you're essentially getting them to listen to the entire album, which is great.
It's a way to capture a day in the news cycle, whereas in 2018, maybe when they released the first video, that's like a day of news. But at this point, it's like if they just did another one, that wouldn't be enough. But
no.
All of it,
literally all of it. So, John, what would you say is your top?
I think moments like this has to win, right?
Gosh, yeah. So, our boy Brian Bouchelt.
Yes, possible future podcast. We'll see.
Certain future podcast. I've been communicating with Brian in recent days.
All right, cool.
So we are working it out.
Yep.
But Brian Bouchelt he did Let's Ride. He did Moments Like This. He did Uptown Streets. I think he did
The Way We Do
with
Jake Gravbrot.
From Machine That Eats.
Or wait, Machine That Eats is Thomas Dutton.
Oh, Thomas Dutton.
Friday Tonight.
Yeah, they got lots of dudes helping out. But Brian Buchelt, he's worked with the band for a long time, going back to a documentary he did for them and doing some Plans Within Plans music videos as well. But he's a good dude. So we're gonna get him on the pod in the future and kind of pick his brain about music, directing, airplanes. He's also a pilot.
Yeah, that's right.
So we are looking forward to that as well. So I did not, going back to the Best Life IPA and how they use the image and the kind of the color aesthetic from the album for the can. This gets into some voicemails that we have. We have a voicemail line that I'm going to fumble for again because
I got it for you.
I don't remember that shit.
872-762-4763 or 872-7-MAGPOD.
There it is. Thank you, John, for not making me fumble for that. So feel free to give us a call, leave us a voicemail about whatever. You can just be something as simple as
y'all blow.
Something like that. If you want to.
Just got it at the ready now.
Yes, I have.
Y'all blow.
I have it at the ready. So
I feel like we're in a morning zoo crew over here.
Hey, welcome back to the Magnified Pod.
He's so horny.
Let me throw it over to my man, John Peter. John Pooter.
Yeah, that's more. Oh, man.
Auga. Yeah, so we will go to
Should we briefly shout out the Punktoberfest?
Yes.
Sorry.
How I stepped all over it. Speaking of all of the alcohol.
Yep.
350 Brewing, Tinley Park, Illinois.
Who had previously brewed the Pocanatcha beer that I mentioned on our first step. They did an MXPX beer a while ago. It's long gone, but perhaps we'll find some at this festival.
Yeah, maybe they got a can kicking around. So Punktoberfest, October 6th in Tinley Park. You got Mad Caddies. You got Flatfoot 56. And Mike Herrera of MXPX is also going to be playing.
Wow.
So more bands, TBA, but there's going to be a beer garden, obviously music, food, costume contest. Get your boot filled with beer.
Yes.
John and I are going to be there. So if you are in the area, want to come hang, see some music, see Mike play, we will be around. So hit us up. October 6th. It's all day. It's like 12 to 9.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good time.
Yep.
So good looking out.
Yep.
So the first voicemail that relates back to the Best Life IPA is from our boy Riker.
Yes.
Riker has been if you follow us on Instagram, Riker leaves us these really long, thoughtful comments, and this is an all-around insightful dude. So he left us a voicemail. He's been sort of off the grid for the past couple weeks, hasn't been commenting on stuff, but he said that he's been traveling. But he has some thoughts in this voicemail that he left in regards to the Best Life IPA.
Hey, Andrew and John. This is Ryder. First of all, I love what you two are doing. The conversations that stem from your podcast are so much fun, and I think it's really great to have an outlet and a place for fans of the band to really unite and, share thoughts and ideas. So, as you guessed, I'm a bit younger. I was 13 back when Secret Weapon came out in 2007, and that album was really full of my teenage punk anthems. It was truly my teenage politics. So obviously we've had very different experiences, but yet we've been influenced by the same music. And John, you said that there's nothing quite like being sure of what's inside your heart was your high school yearbook quote, right? Well, that's really funny because it was mine too.
Amazing.
What a coincidence, just such a powerful lyric. It's timeless. But anyway, that's what I love about your pod. It's so cool to hear your unique perspectives about these songs I've listened to so many times. So with that said, I have 2 questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
First, with the new Best Life IPA having the same Poconacha punk as the self-titled album, I was thinking, what if the album was actually titled Best Life? I actually think that would fit really well. It seems to be a theme with Mike's podcast and his life in general, at least according to social media, that perspective. So my question is, if number 10 wasn't self-titled, what would you title it?
Let's tackle that first before we get into his second question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you? Because I do think that's a pretty great title, considering if you listen to a lot of the lyrics. I was listening to the album on the way over here, actually, and listening to, because it is an album that's very much nostalgic, reminiscing, thinking about, think like even something like The Way We Do could be a title, because it's embracing where they've been, where they are, and just moving forward and having gratitude.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. I think we talked about that on our First Impressions episode, that there's a lot of gratitude on this record. So
I think
to draw from the lyrics, The Way We Do could be.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Or moments like this, something like that.
So I think Best Life, that whole thing comes from, if I'm correct, that video series that our buddy Jason
Knockney-Zymet.
Yep, with MXPX, and then Mike's kind of carried that on as a thing. But yeah, that was my first thought too. If you're going with a song title from the record, Moments Like This would probably be my choice. But yeah, I think all of it maybe could work. The Way We Do could work. There's probably a bunch of them on the record that could work. But
Goddamn Refrigerator.
Another contender.
Yeah, MXPX, Freezing Balls.
But I was thinking about, like, most of their records don't come from song titles.
No, they don't.
Maybe like a half or a third. But I was trying to look, like, they often do like lyrics maybe, but I didn't
like
really
even
think of a...
like Secret Weapon, obviously that's but Plans Within Plans isn't. Panic he says the word panic in the record, but it's not like a song title.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I do think, Riker, I think you kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
It's a very all-encompassing sort of concept that works for the whole record.
I like the whole self-titled deal.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
It's an interesting question to consider.
Yeah, it's a very good question. So let's move on to the next part of his voicemail.
And my second question is about, I guess you could say, like Mike Herrera cameos. Are there any songs that Mike is featured on that you really enjoy? So that's what I'm just wondering. I'm just curious about that. Because I have 2 examples, but I'm realizing they're pretty bad examples because they're not actually Mike, like singing with another band songs. But I'll share them anyway. So first, have you watched the music video for All I Want by A Day to Remember? If you haven't, check it out and pay close attention. I think it's around 1 minute and 60 seconds in or so. So that's all I'll say about that. I really like that. I think it's a pretty cool video. And the other thing I really like is the Mike Herrera song by the Unlovables. It's so good. It's basically the epitome of excellent songwriting. So definitely check that out too. And so Mike Herrera cameos, I guess. Anyway, that's all I got. You can probably tell I have like a list. I'm a list person, so I like took some notes on what I wanted to leave in this voicemail before I did it.
Love it.
That's the way I am. So anyway,
you do.
thanks again. I hope you two have a great week. Bye.
That's awesome.
Love
Thank you,
it.
Riker.
Yep. And it doesn't surprise me that he's a list dude.
No,
because
he seems like it.
So that Mike Herrera song
It's incredible.
by the Unlovables is the lyrics of that song are so good. So this song came out in like 2001, 2.
Yeah. I was not aware of this at all, were you?
No.
So I pulled up some of my fave lyrics here.
So yeah, if you guys haven't listened to the Unlovables, the Mike Herrera song,
Yeah.
you can listen to it on their Bandcamp,
It's great.
and it's great. So please check it out.
I watched the video for Doing Time. Your angel face looks so sublime, and I must blush as I confess I paused the part where there was a shot of your ass, which I don't remember, but
Yeah, let's be real. If I knew that there was a shot of Mike's ass, I probably would have paused it myself, because I did have that old Tooth and Nail VHS.
yeah.
It was like a music video comp, and it had Doing Time on it.
We've talked about this already, but I remember how rad it was because they're like moving the camera
Yeah.
up and down and stuff.
Yeah.
I know you're into the Jesus thing. You got all these songs about God being king, but how am I going to get through to you that this agnostic needs loving too? I mean, beautiful. And then my favorite. Oh, Mike Herrera, I want to make you pasta with marinara and let you sleep with my teddy bear. Each night I say a prayer to God or Buddha or whoever's there.
Yeah.
And there are many more lyrics, all equally wonderful.
This mine is towards the end. Oh, Mike Herrera, I love you, this I swear. I find it so unfair that I can't make you aware. The thought of having to share ya makes my poor heart wanna tear. I wanna see you in your underwear. You and me should be a pair.
Yep.
It's so good.
So that was Hallie Bullitt,
Yeah.
who, this is funny, we were talking about this before, that
Yeah.
so she's now an actress and a singer. She's married to Chris Gethard, the comedian, which is super funny. She said it was the first song she ever wrote. I found that in an interview. And then last year she was on Mike's pod. So folks should go listen to that.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. She posted about the song, and then Mike commented and was like, come on the pod. And then she did. But now she's like a funny and successful singer and comedian in her own right. So pretty funny.
Yeah. It is so solid track.
Yeah.
I didn't end up watching.
I did.
Okay.
A Day to Remember, maybe a band I've heard of, but certainly not very familiar with. And the All I Want video features like this slew of punk rock cameos.
Okay.
Including Mike.
Okay.
In a dramatic entrance where he busts open his trailer door, like the trailer to his van with his gear and stuff. And starts singing along emphatically as he does in videos.
So was this Panic, or no, I mean Secret Weapon era, where he's like
the hand gestures maybe
gesturing
weren't
at the
quite that extreme.
Okay.
But yeah, that was fun. I didn't know that. I don't know. I mean, my short answer was like I didn't know any until I did some Googling, and he's on the song Fight Games by The Climbing, which came out in 2010. It's okay. He's on the song Runaway by Amber Pacific, which came out in 2007, which is also okay. But he's also on the American Hi-Fi version of Christmas, Baby Please Come Home, which that one is super fun.
Okay.
I recommend that. Perhaps we'll include it on our future Christmas, very special holiday episode.
A very magnified pod Christmas.
That's right. Where we'll finally get to punk rock Christmas.
That's right.
Record. So anyway, yeah. Were you aware of any Mike features? Yeah.
No. The only Mike features I cared about were MXPX related.
Right. Yeah.
It was either all or nothing for me. But yeah, I didn't. You know what? There was that. What was that? There's like this band from Mexico that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
That had Mike sing on, like a. It was like he just like it was like the whole album. All the songs are in Spanish, except for his part, which is kind of strange.
I don't remember the band, but folks can find it.
I don't remember either. But if you want to look it up, feel free to try and figure it out. I have no idea what it's called, but
yeah, thanks, Riker.
Yeah, thanks, Riker. It's awesome. Appreciate it. Let's move on to, we have a voicemail from Daniel Leary from MXPX Memes.
Hey guys, it's Daniel here, MXPX Memes. I'm just calling to discuss the Bob Moon interview. Specifically, although you didn't name me to Bob, you didn't tell him it was me. You asked him some of my questions, and he had actually touched base on the one that I was always curious about as far as like my personal MXPX mystery, and that is if the Life in General demos that are on Let It Happen are actually the infamous scrapped version of Life in General. And now I think Bob apparently actually confirmed that. So my thought on it was always that, you know, they mentioned on the VHS tape on It Came from Bremerton that what did they mention? They mentioned that there was a scrap version, but they never really confirmed if it was those demos. So I just always kind of felt like maybe it was, or were those a third recording? Were those actual demos that happened before the scrapped version or in between the scrapped version and the version we know? But they never really confirmed that on It Came from Bremerton. I never heard an interview where they did, and now you guys got that interview. I think it seemed from context, maybe I'm just reading into this, but on It Came from Bremerton, they didn't really like call out Bob on saying, you know, he gave us this version of the album that we couldn't release, and maybe they did it on purpose because maybe they didn't want to, like, you know, hurt his reputation, but they still had to kind of talk about how the album got scrapped at that time. So maybe they were, you know, helping him save face by letting those Let It Happen demos sort of blur the line for the public and leave us all not sure if that was the scrap version of Life in General. So now, you know, but by Bob's own admission, he was like he didn't have his heart in it. So maybe, you know, it was nice of them not to reveal that.
Yeah, so it seems like, yeah, you're on point that, yeah, so Bob pretty much did confirm it, that those were the infamous scrapped versions.
Right.
And yeah, it is a probably an age-old mystery, so I guess you could say we got that exclusive.
That's right.
That exclusive.
That depressing exclusive.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, as you said, to Bob's point, he was not really in it at that point, and also the band was going in a different direction. And you know, Bob is by no means, you listen to Teenage Politics and some of the other, you know, 90 Pound it's the kind of sound that he was doing, and kind of like there's
a rawness.
There's a rawness. There's an energy in the room kind of feel versus a, you know, as he said, like he doesn't like the plastic sounding rock, and that's what he's not going to do that. So and not to, you know, to Steve Kravac, he does his own thing. He does his own style, and he's amazing. But I do think you might be right that they were trying to not, you know, bus toss him or something like that, which is nice.
Yeah.
But so
cool. Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel, for hitting us up. We and also we got another voicemail from Danny Stairs. Daniel Starrett, who left us another voicemail trying to gloat about how he got his vinyl and all of this stuff, trying to rub it in my face. Bastard. However...
So, dudes, I am just calling to rub in the fact that I am currently on a package from the vinyl, and I know that
Okay,
Is he doing that on purpose?
This is Bush League.
What I hear
Stare
is
it.
vinyl. So I
If
feel
you're
like
going to
he's doing
leave
it on
us a
purpose.
voicemail, rubbing it in our face, make sure we can hear that shit. Couldn't hear anything you're saying.
some other lizard.
What the fuck is this?
I'm just going to cut this open, let you guys listen, and all of it.
This is get it together, stare it. This is nonsense.
Oh man.
You know what, stare it, and you know what I have to say to that?
Y'all blow.
Yeah.
That is Bush League work.
I'm happy for you that you have the vinyl and the plush in your possession. Did you get the plush?
I don't know if he
Who knows?
He probably already had the plush, but listen, I don't have mine yet.
Yeah, what the hell?
What?
We're gonna harangue Mike at Punktoberfest
You know what?
if you don't have it yet.
Stare and I have been discussing this. We have a conspiracy theory.
To your inconsistency?
We think, and we might be blowing this wide open, so I might need you. We just need to keep our voices down.
Is Bob Moon behind this?
No, Mooney is not behind this. Fucking Aaron Sprinkle.
Oh, I know.
He has intercepted the vinyl.
Yep.
He has heard the pod, and he is pissed.
Typical Sprinkle.
Typical textbook Sprinkle. You know what he's gonna do? He probably not only intercepted my vinyl, but he went into the studio, remixed the album, and he's going to give me the Sprinkle Deluxe version.
I can't wait.
Of the album. There's going to be trumpets. There's going to be
Full orchestra.
tons of piano.
Didgeridoos.
Rooms full of didgeridoos. And yeah,
this all makes sense.
It all
I
makes
gotta say,
sense.
it's all falling into place.
You know, it might sound a little crazy, but doesn't it really make sense? But we also have a couple voicemails actually from Nick Polk, who heard the
Y'all blow.
he heard the y'all blow, and he wasn't too happy about it.
Oh.
What up, boys? It's your other boy, Nicky P, a.k.a. Nick Polk. But for real, it's me. I just want to say, pro homo, y'all do blow. 2018, so the guy who left you that one voicemail is obvi, and probably not a true moonhead. Sam. So anyways, I just want to say that I love what you guys are doing on the pod. I'm still waiting for that ring, because even though our relationship has only spanned for about 3 months, we know that because we all went to evangelical universities, that y'all are already late. So, still waiting on the ring. Magnified bod for life.
Awesome.
Many smooches. Peace.
The best.
Love it. So this is John. This is not a phrase that I've heard before. You know, you've heard the phrase when people say something like, "Dude, you look really great. No homo. No homo."
Yes, yeah.
But he said pro homo.
Pro homo. I like it.
He's like, yeah, man. I'm like totally like saying
I'm into it.
I'm into you.
Yeah.
You know, but he follows this voicemail up with a clarification.
Well, this is super embarrassing. Did not listen to the Bob Moon interview before I sent my first voicemail, and I was like, hey man, I should listen to that interview before I send any voicemail. And I didn't, by the way. This is your boy Nicky P. But obviously Daniel is a proper moonhead, and he's definitely pro homo blow. So Daniel, many smooches. John, Andrew, many freaking smooches, my guys. Y'all blow, pro homo.
Love it.
Magnified pod for life. Peace.
Thanks, buddy.
Here's the thing. I am all about many smooches.
Many smooches.
Many smooches.
I'm into it.
I'm super into it. Nikki, our boy Nikki P. You guys, we both know that you bros are proper moonheads.
Oh yeah.
But I'm glad that you made sure to follow that up and be like, gotta listen to that.
Yeah.
That Mooney.
Appreciate
that
it.
Mooney ep. So appreciate it. Appreciate the Magnified Pod for Life shout out.
That's how we ask all our future voicemail senders to close out their messages.
If you don't end it with Magnified Pod for Life,
we will not play you.
We will not. No airtime.
Nikki P, I believe, hailing from Nashville, where my wife just was for a conference. But if we ever make it down there, we'll do a hang.
I got
Smoochies hang.
Yeah, there will be many smooches. I have family in Tennessee, so I make it down occasionally. So
let's do it.
Gotta, Nashville's cool, Cashville, if you will.
That's right.
So, and I think that's those are all the voicemails we got for this week. But I do need to follow up on a previous caller that we had.
Okay.
So, Jen Mandigo. So she, two things. She had called, and we had her voicemail on a previous ep. She was talking about the fanfic that she'd never written any
disappointing
MXPX fanfic, which is a bummer. So here's the first thing. Jen Mandigo is a psychologist, and she's
Dr. Mandigo.
She's a doctor, Dr. Mandigo.
Yes.
So
we've not been fully respecting her position.
No. So we retract the untitled times that we've called you Jen. So Dr. Mandigo, from now on, we will give you. You went to school.
Yeah, you
earned that shit.
Yeah.
So we will not disrespect our listeners like this. But
speaking of fanfic,
John, I said that I would definitely have pages.
I'm so excited
by this next step, and I did throw something together.
Can't wait.
So this is in the spirit of this ep, which is
soaked in alcohol.
Yes, it is. No, it is. So the whiskey is part of it. The Renaissance EP is part of it.
Okay.
So I did not complete a fully formed story, but I will share. But here's the thing. We have another submission.
Yeah, we do.
We have multiple things that we need to get to, but let me just read. So, listeners, you can just close your eyes, lay back, and let the story whisk you away into light a candle, get in a bath, get some bath beads or a bath bomb or some shit.
Yeah.
However you can get down with your fanfic.
I always prefer to be fully submerged in water.
Fully submerged and fully erect.
That's our slogan.
So Magnified Pod, fully submerged and fully erect. .com. So this is I had previously titled it before I didn't finish it, but I entitled it Tooth and Nailed.
Ooh, steamy.
The lights are off in the clubhouse. Mike is sitting against the wall, his Takamine acoustic guitar propped up next to him. He lets out a long sigh and grabs the half-empty bottle of bourbon on his right. After a momentary pause, he takes a deep pull from the bottle and then another. It brings momentary satisfaction, but the whiskey is shit. He sets the bottle down and closes his eyes. Mike is lonely. Truly the mayor of Lonesome Town, he thinks. Is that something, he thinks? He fumbles for the neck of his guitar and sets it on his lap. He starts listlessly playing a palm-muted F-sharp minor with his fingers. Minor chords sound super fucking depressing, he thinks, which he is. He plays an E, an A, back to F sharp minor. Mike sits up a little straighter. He reaches into his front jeans pocket and pulls out a guitar pick. He plays the riff again, but with a little more meaning. A smile forms on Mike's tired face. He doesn't smile much these days, so it seems a little foreign. Mike sets the guitar down and works to stand up. He doesn't remember drinking that much whiskey, but certainly he's had the desired effect. He stumbles into the adjacent room and roots around for his song notebook. As he locates it, Mike hears a knock at the front door. He blinks to focus his eyes and looks at the clock. He lost track of time and forgot he made plans. Mike tosses the notebook carelessly into the other room and makes his way to the front door of the clubhouse, flips the lock, and opens the door. "Hey, Mike," says Fat Mike, unshaven and clearly a little tipsy. "Hey, dude, come on in. Need a drink? Or should I say another drink?" Fat Mike smiles knowingly. "You know I would never turn down a whiskey," Fat Mike says, placing his hand on Mike's shoulder. "Been working through a bottle tonight," Mike says. "I hope you don't mind that I've been drinking straight from the bottle." "Only way I know how," Fat Mike chuckles. The two guys walk into the next room where Mike was strumming his guitar just moments ago. Mike slings the bottle of whiskey to Fat Mike, who adeptly catches it with one hand. Fat Mike notices the Takamine and splayed-out songbook on the floor. "Working on something?" Fat Mike asks as he takes a swig from the bottle of whiskey. "Yeah, just a riff at the moment," Mike says as he runs his hands through his messy hair. "Let me hear what you got," Fat Mike insists. Mike shrugs, picks up his acoustic, and begins strumming. Fat Mike takes another swig from the bottle as Mike passionately plays. The two men haven't hung out alone before. It's mostly been at shows. And it was also the first time Fat Mike noticed how truly attractive Mike Herrera is. His eyes scanned Mike's tattooed arms, up his chest, and up to his snake-bitten lips. And that is is all I have.
Wow. I mean,
so if anybody wants to pick up where I left off,
that's beautiful.
Feel frey.
I'm so excited to see what happens next.
Yeah. Me too. I didn't know what where it was going, but
somewhere beautiful.
Somewhere sexy.
Yeah.
So speaking
incredible
of sexy,
stuff.
Thank you. Yes, this is truly the peak of literature.
Hey, Twilight started out as Harry Potter fanfic, so you could have the next great novel in your hands.
So what you're saying is it's like from Harry Potter to Twilight to 50 Shades of Grey, then to whatever the fuck
50 Shades of Mikes.
50 Shades.
50 Mikes of... I don't know. Yes, yep. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. So I'm assuming you didn't.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. But I could never have achieved such beauty.
Well, I don't know. We will see momentarily because Daniel Starrett has provided pages.
Daniel Starrett, MVP of this pod.
He is the MVP. So not only did he send some steamy AF fucking fanfic, but he also sent MXPX themed I guess fanfic porn titles.
Yeah, I realize like we've been lumping fanfic in exclusively to like
softcore
sexual, which it's not always, but
it doesn't always need to be.
It's more fun.
But it's
slash fic, I believe, might be more what you wrote for today.
Well, I mean, it was definitely going to go somewhere dirty. It just didn't get there.
But he came up with some great titles in addition to the pages, and I have my top 5 among his titles.
Yeah,
A, because there are many.
There are very.
B, because I don't feel comfortable saying some of them out loud.
Okay, so what would you?
All right, number 5.
Yeah,
The Broken Bone. A nod to Broken Bones, obviously.
Yes.
Number 4, Hung Cock Christmas. A nod to punk rock Christmas. Incredible stuff.
Yep.
Number 3, Pokin' In Ya.
Yep.
I mean, that's
yep.
beautiful. Number 2, Hands Within Pants.
That's my favorite.
It was between, so Plans Within Plans, obviously the playoff. So I kept going back and forth between that and what ended up being my number 1, which was Love a Genital for Life in General. I just couldn't get over how silly that was.
It is super ridiculous.
We salute you, Daniel, and your absurd commitment to this bit.
Yep. I also like I Came in Bremerton.
Yeah.
And Punk Rock Ho, and let's see what else. So there's the self-titled, of course, but he called it Self-Pleasured.
I couldn't figure out exactly what that was a reference to, but now I got it. But maybe it was self whatever with a purpose.
So there's, of course there's Before Everything and After, but he has Behind, Inside, and Under.
So silly.
Yes. So thank you, Daniel, for that. So he has. I can't read. This is like a full short story.
It's a novella.
It is a novella. So I can't read. There's not enough time to read the whole thing. So we might have to try and find a way to post this somewhere so everybody can read.
Maybe we'll do little portions on our social feeds so people are teased to get the next entry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tease, all right. So this based around the character named Jessica, who is at an MXPX show, and she's watching them, and she is getting super turned on watching Mike on stage, of course. So maybe should I just read a little bit of the beginning just to give you a flavor for and then I'll get into the end when it really ramps up. Excitement pulsated through Jessica's body to the furious beat of Yuri's maniacal drumming. She couldn't believe she was finally seeing her favorite band live. They kicked the show off with her favorite song off their last album, Doing Time, and rolled into Falling Down before slowing it down. And Jessica wished she could be the titular Andrea walking down the dirt road by the bridge with Mike, but she wanted to do more than just talk about a few things. The crowd was getting rowdy now, and Jessica was enjoying the sweaty bodies slamming against her as the band rolled into Middle Name. With each titillating collision, she imagined being in the MXPX van. She could picture herself ripping that sexy work shirt off of Tom's wiry body while dorky Yuri watched from the back seat.
Oh, poor Yuri.
Too shy to join. Don't worry. Yuri gets vindicated.
Oh, my goodness.
Too shy to join in, but too excited to look away. But Mike, Mike Herrera, such a beautiful man in his skull and crossbones shirt, sweating like a motherfucker as he crooned "Do Your Feet Hurt" from the stage. And Jessica knew she wasn't the only girl who was thinking of the things they would let that hot piece of ass do to them. If only he'd leave a message on their machines.
Wow.
So already Daniel's writing is just so much more fucking hilarious than mine.
Well, different goals.
Is different. Yeah. So
can't wait to bring our wives into the next
into this madness.
Cheers, Daniel.
Yeah. You have if your career as a
steamy
as a lawyer doesn't work out, you will have a career.
I may not have submitted pages, but I did do a little research.
Okay.
The best I could find for MXPX related fanfic existing already was one about an anime show called First Day of the Rest of Our Lives, in which the song featured prominently.
Sure.
But the band was not a part of it. There's also one called Chick Magnet about a different anime show. Lots of anime fanfic out there.
Japan? Is it all like made in Japan, or
I assume, maybe that's racist or something.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how many American-made anime shows there are.
Yeah, I didn't. Let's save it for future. A very special pod about MXPX anime, but no, this one was called Chick Magnet.
Okay,
taken from the song, but not about it. So this is clearly the most explicitly MXPX in more ways than one fanfic that's ever seen the light of day.
Yeah,
So
we
you're
might need
welcome,
to.
world.
We might need to leave a warning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Adult content.
we already have the E. So, all right. So next up, we will be talking about the delicious Anchor Valley.
That's good.
Nope.
We're bringing our booze in to talk about booze.
Yeah. Okay. Coming up, we got booze on booze.
No,
No.
booze and booze.
Booze and booze.
Booze and booze.
Coming up on the pod.
Coming up on POW, we got. It's time to know y'all boo.
Now you boo.
Know you boo. Someone don't
know they boo.
Someone don't know boo. No, they boo.
This is de-escalating quickly.
This transition is double gold. And we're back. So, John, for the first time on the pod,
Very special app.
this is a very special episode of Magnified Pod. We got our
Spouse pod.
wife pod.
Yeah.
We so why don't you introduce?
My lovely wife Jenny is sitting to the right of me. Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
And my wife Dana is sitting to the right of me.
Hi.
So, Jenny and Dana have both been on the pod by, not as guests, but just by soundbite.
Sure.
Jenny was on our last one by prompting your son to say "Punk's not dead,"
Obviously.
and Dana was on an episode, one of the earlier episodes, when she walked in on us recording, and
That's good.
she gave us a dip.
Shared some chips.
Shared some chips and dip.
That's great.
And I think there might have been an episode where she was sitting on the couch and she
Applauded.
applauded at our
Brilliant discourse.
yes.
Yeah.
We have a very high standards for the dialogue, as you can note from our previous segment with our fanfic.
Yeah.
So in this segment, we're going to be trying the 3 Anchor Valley wines.
Yeah, we are.
What is Anchor Valley wine, you might ask? This is the wine company started by Mike and Holly Herrera and Joe Moxley. So it's a sort of a blending of the anchors of Bremerton, Washington, and Rogue Valley in Oregon, which is, I guess it's the vineyards in Rogue Valley in Oregon are known for their grapes, and those grapes have been won a bunch of awards. And
They're some of my favorite grapes.
What
are some of your favorite grapes?
Well, I was just gonna say, you guys this should be their commercial. This is just
From the
selling.
valleys of Bremerton.
From the
southern Oregon.
Yes, this is
Grapes.
To the tasting sites of Magnified Pied West Studios.
Yes.
magnified.
We should do a magnified pie episode where we do all pies.
It's all. It's
I was putting together the studio's label in my head while I was talking and I couldn't do it.
What's your favorite punk pie you've ever had?
well, it'd probably have to be a pie with Oregon grapes.
There you go.
So everybody loves a grape pie, right?
If Anchor Valley could send us a pie after this episode, I think we would all
I would
appreciate
like a Pinot Noir pie, please.
it. Yeah.
That
So
sounds good.
if
Yeah,
you
I
want to
mean-
order one of these beautiful wines, you simply head to anchorvalleywine.com.
Yep.
That's
what I did.
because we didn't get it for free. And
As all of our listeners know, John does not give a shit unless it's free.
I would like some swag, please. Is all I'm saying.
He's about the Spawn Con.
How many-
We have been down this
been
road
spotting
before.
their con so much, and
Yep.
we've spent many hours on this band. I just want some wine.
That's all he wants. So, okay. So there are currently three varietals available. There's a Pinot Gris.
Boom.
There's a Pinot Noir Rosé. And then there's a Pinot Noir. So the Pinot Gris is the wine that won the double gold. So, John, do you know what double gold means?
Tell me.
So, double gold is something that in a competition, is a wine that has received a gold medal from every judge. So, I guess if during the tasting, the judges have independently awarded the wine a gold, then it receives double gold. So that seems kind of like a big deal.
That's pretty good.
It's not some, garbage bullshit wine that's going to be, get some like bronze medal.
Yeah.
No, they don't mess with the bronze with the bronze over there
Pure
at Anchor Valley.
gold.
Double gold. So that's the one we're going to go with first. My understanding with wine, since I am a professional drinker,
Yeah.
You got to start light first. So we're gonna start out high with.
Yeah. There we go.
There it is, with the Pinot Gris. So, and I don't know about you, but I think that the art, it doesn't have.
It's cool. It's a
It's
cool
cool.
label.
I like the label. I remember Dana had commented when it came in, and it came in the box, and it had it has the like sort of metallic shiny label. So we're going to be honest that there are people in the room who prefer reds. Some are into the whites.
Yep.
And
Sounded a little racist.
Yeah, I know. What the hell?
But some rosé all day. So
There you go.
That's true.
Rosé brings all of us together.
Yeah, it's.
I'm checking out the legs here.
Are there legs
Putting
on whites?
Oh yeah. No, I don't know. we've done multiple wine country tours, and like every time at the end of several hours of hearing about the legs and getting your nose in there and the notes, I'm still like, yes, this one is red, and I believe this is a white.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like I can tell when it's like a good quality wine, but like I couldn't tell you anything beyond that.
Some of the notes that they say, the bouquet.
Let's cheers to Anchor Valley.
Yeah,
first,
Anchor
guys.
Valley. Even though this wasn't free.
Yeah. What the hell? Fruity? Are there some fruity notes?
There.
Is there any grapes?
It's definitely white.
Okay.
So they talk about the bouquet. So the aroma: white nectarine, honey, whetstone.
Oh yeah, definitely some whetstone. I like my stone super wet.
It's like it smells like a castle, just like like a whetstone castle.
Yeah.
I'm like
storm.
It's
Game of Thrones up in here.
yeah, it's like after like the waves crashing against like an Irish.
Save it for the fanfic.
Yep. Yeah, MXPX is playing a show
In a castle.
in a castle
Would go.
with wet stone. The stone is so wet. So Meyer lemon and apple flesh on the palate.
Apple flesh. That's weird.
That's one way of just saying it tastes like apples.
Yeah. What are thoughts? What do you guys think?
I'm a fan of like a crisp, fruity white, not sweet white wines. I'm about a dry but fruity white. What do you got? What do you both think?
I think your mom would like this wine.
Yeah.
It's a mom's wine, everyone.
Your mom will love it. Anchor Valley. I always try to think my mom is a big Chardonnay fan. That's her jam. So
Okay.
I'm always like trying to remember like what is she like? And I think dry and fruity is correct.
Well, Chardonnay tends to be like oaky and
she
buttery.
likes the buttery ones.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's Chardonnay.
It's hard to remember.
But I'm a big Sauvignon Blanc fan. That's my
big Sauv head.
I'm a Sauv head for sure. And so, but this kind of hits that sweet spot because it's not like gross fruity sweet. But I'm totally into it.
This would be good like on a picnic in the summer or
there you go.
something.
On a warm day.
Yeah.
Not many of those left. We're moving into fall.
Yeah.
I am not always a fan of white, but I actually like this.
Oh wow,
good.
that
That's
is
nice.
that is
Double
high
gold right
praise.
there.
Yeah, it's double gold.
That is high. That is triple gold.
Would this count as like? Are we judges? Like
Yes.
What? Okay.
Sure.
So,
Yep. So this is quadruple gold.
Yeah.
You're
as far
welcome.
As I'm concerned.
As far as I'm concerned, this is quadruple gold Pinot Gris. Let's get
gotta swish it
gotta,
around.
You got to aerate it. Got to get that. Get in the mic there, John.
People don't like to listen to this?
Wait,
It's so weird.
what's the problem? What's the deal? What's Jenny? What's the problem?
I can just feel it over your teeth, and it's just grossing me.
Anchor Valley wine. You'll feel it over your teeth.
Anchor Valley wine. Your mom loves it.
Mom likes to feel it over the teeth. I don't know. We've already had too much of other alcohol so far.
I've had nothing.
Okay, we'll have some more.
No. I had some earlier, didn't I?
Okay.
Didn't I
Well-
have some at a dinner party? Whatever. Anyway.
Would you like some more of this?
No. I'm saying
are
in
we
general.
Magnified
today,
pod. We are all drunk already. Let's move on to the Pinot Noir Rosé.
Rosé is in my way.
Rosé
Is what it should be called.
That is, yeah. So we John and I had all of our Anchor Valley MXPX based wine names that we wish that they could have used, but they went with a more class. So some of the wine titles that we were alluding to. So John had Rosés in my way. Your Problem, my Gewürztraminer.
Yeah.
Small Town Vines, Pinot, My House, Be There, Time Brings Champagne, Riesling Strong, Beaujolais Solo, and You Make Gris. But then a bunch of listeners wrote in.
Thanks, listener.
Thanks.
Yeah. I think we did say some of these
Did we?
previously.
Because we have
Ooh, it's my favorite.
Under Lock and Mead, which is really good.
Response to Pinot Gris was one of my favorites.
Yep.
I saw Muscatified Plaid in there. I like that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Move to Sauvignon.
Yeah, that's good.
Too much drinking, which is really good.
That's good.
Move to Sauvignon might
It's pretty great.
be one of the best. Slowly going the way of the Merlot. Really good. I also today's in my Cabernet is also pretty good.
Yep.
So Anchor Valley still up for grabs. We'll take we'll take some of that SpawnCon.
Yep.
Throw it our way. So the Pinot Noir Rosé. Let's pour some of these.
As we pour some of this rosé.
This is some ASMR right here.
Yeah. Next, I want you to think about what kind of wine you like.
Pour the wine into the glass.
You guys unfamiliar with ASMR?
No idea.
It's these videos online where it's supposed to like soothe you and release some brain chemicals where it's often like people whispering and with some special sounds. You don't like it?
People get weirded out by some of like the ASMR stuff because it's like not only is it sort of like pseudo kind of sensual, but like there's a lot of like food stuff too.
Sure.
There's like this one where this like woman is like eating crunchy pickles.
That's a little weird.
And just like I can't really get down with
Pickle crunching.
chewing sounds that really
Just swishing around wine.
I'm purely swishing.
Well, you're not chewing.
No, I'm not chewing.
Not yet. We got pretzels over there to clear our palates.
It's true.
But let's see. Let's see what the Pinot Noir Rosé.
Nice body.
Let's see if it has any whetstone in here. They bursts of juicy watermelon, sun-ripe strawberry, bright acidity.
Ooh.
It is expressive, to say the least.
Oh.
Dive into the layers of sexy summer fruits
Whoa, whoa.
and sip the day away.
Wow. I like it.
Says "sip the day away" with an exclamation
Sip
point.
the day away.
And
It's not
I
top of the
whispered
muffin
it.
to you.
I have a question
It
before
is.
we begin.
Yes.
Thank you, Julia. Or Elaine,
Yes.
shall we say?
Yeah.
Are men typically
threatened.
do men typically enjoy the rosé?
Rosé.
Are they broadening their market with this array of
Perhaps.
Wines is
You
my
know what?
question.
Let's-
Do men
here's-
respond to sexy wines? Who
Well,
does that
I
appeal
think
to?
I think
Wine
they
is
should
sexy,
because you shouldn't if your masculinity is so fragile that you can't drink a rosé. First off, get it together. Second, you're missing out on rosé. So
You could just call it brose.
Rosé.
And then
Point for Jenny.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 family points. And
I mean,
also,
in Sweden, all of them are drinking pink wine, right?
There you
yeah,
go.
in Sweden, bros have been wearing pink and drinking pink.
Generations.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and
come on, get
Pink
it.
was originally a color for boys.
That's true.
Until the 50s, I
Yep.
believe.
Yep. Jenny coming in with the history lesson.
Love it. Love it.
You're welcome, men.
Rosé does seem to be a thing that has like taken off recently as like a thing, right?
Well, it's
Where
like an anthem. It's like on every like other T-shirt.
Yeah.
And
I also I'm a fan. This is a the lighter. It's a lot. I mean, not rosé, but Pinot. This is a Pinot grape, and Pinot grapes tend to have like a lighter body. So this is a very light bodied rosé. But I like sparkling rosé. That's kind of my jam. I'm into this.
Dana's laughing at
Dana's.
I'm just a fan, everybody.
This
I
is
just love the sounds.
This is our last episode.
Fighting the wives.
I've been shamed into.
The wives are always welcome.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
was
Nice.
really excited about this watermelon and these kind of. It made me feel like maybe a sour beer was coming, something like that. And this is not that.
No,
I don't dislike it. Much like Secret Weapon, perhaps.
Are
No,
you
I
saying
do dislike
this?
Secret Weapon.
Are you saying this is the secret weapon of wine?
Of these two, it's more Secret Weapon. Pinot Gris is like the teenage politics so far.
I don't understand that, but I like this better. Than
Oh, really? Interesting.
I
Well,
actually
here's-
think I like the last one better than this one.
Interesting.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting. Some hot takes. So, this-
Gentlemen,
I
not your fave.
No,
Not my
I will.
fave.
I would probably say the Pinot Gris is my favorite
Yeah.
of these two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's double gold for a reason. Am I right?
Yeah. How many golds did this thing win?
But how many times is the word sexy used to describe
That's-
the first
I
one?
mean-
0.
Fair point.
But the problem is I don't have any. Don't get any whetstone in the bouquet.
Yeah, I need a little more whetstone to really give it the full gold.
So, John, I think this might be a good time to
Transition.
ask our wives.
Yeah.
When did you first hear of MXPX?
Dana?
I usually have a really good memory of these things, but I don't know. I think that it would be on a mixtape that Andrew made.
That
By
sounds
tape,
right.
I mean CD when we were dating. He made me something long ago when we were dating called the Appreciation Album. And I
Yes.
thought, that's so sweet. He loves me so much and appreciates me. He wants to express his love. No. If you are to date this future podcast host, you must be familiar with this array of music.
That is definitely the intention I had, and I'm definitely not coming off like a douche in this story.
He's a wonderful man.
No,
But I have been a very supportive, non-punk raised spouse, and I've learned a lot. And so I did watch, if we can jump to the future, I did watch the first music video of the album and cried. I was very
Yeah,
moved. I thought
that's
it was
what you
wonderful.
said.
I thought, look at this punk youth and this married punk man with a
Yeah.
baby. I get that story, and I support it. So
I said that I showed it to Jenny and she said, cool, and walked away.
Well, unlike Dana, I did not need you to introduce me to
That's
them.
true.
See?
Well,
Yeah,
no.
You found
Okay,
MXPX
so
all on your own.
let's see if Dana remembers this story. The story that I've told now twice
Right.
on the pod.
About her.
The second time on this episode. It was when we first met. We were in the arts and crafts cabin at Squanto, and
Sexiest cabin.
it is the sexiest of the Squanto,
Cabins.
I
You're
guess.
dropping everything? Goodness.
So I put on the Life in General CD and played Do Your Feet Hurt. And because I thought this was I wanted to say that this is like in like an emotional love song, and it was like something that I had felt like this would convey that I care about you. And it's
Early love language was punk music.
yes,
Yeah,
and I
totally.
don't remember you that was probably your first introduction.
I do have a vague memory of a small boombox and playing. Yes.
Did you hold it above your head?
I don't believe so.
Cusack style.
But
I did not. It was not a say anything Cusack style moment.
I have learned a lot in our 15 years of being together.
Yeah.
And so it's okay with me if you introduce me to things and I learn more that way.
As we've talked about on the pod, Dana may not have grown up with punk, but she certainly espouses punk ideals.
I
and
am
ideology.
living it, people.
She is
True.
punk AF.
Oh,
I'm
thank
not
you so
joking.
much.
That's for real.
That's so nice.
Yep. She sticks it to the man every day on Twitter.
Constantly, people.
Jenny, meanwhile, grew up more punk than me, and I thought I was pretty punk. So
But I didn't have my hair dyed anything crazy.
you had some crazy colors.
Did you have a ball chain necklace or frosted tips?
Tell us about some of your looks.
I don't want to talk about that.
You had very punk aesthetics.
I want you to comment on my fashion.
Well, I wasn't around for the
I know,
high
but
school
what
years, but I
what
saw
makes
some
you say
sweet
that?
pictures with some different hair, some short hair, girls
That's
with a
true.
pretty smile.
Yeah. I also
Pixie.
did like the blue, like the different color eyeliners.
Were you a short-haired girl with a pretty smile, or were you a level-headed girl with
I
a
was
pretty
both.
Both,
I was
dang.
just
Oh,
That's why I waved
John, you
up.
got the full package,
Yeah,
bro.
That's why we boot up.
Well, the reason I got a short-haired cut was because I had dreads for a little while.
Oh, snap.
And then they got really gross.
I have a question. Is dreads punk?
Not necessarily, but being dirty
They're
is punk,
alternative.
and they
Yeah,
were pretty
that's
dirty.
But here's the thing. For our Magnified Pod listeners down under, Frenzelrom,
Some
leads-
real dreads in that.
lead singer of Frenzelrom, he's got mad dreads.
Less than Jake, some dreads.
Yes,
in there.
less than Jake, yeah.
No effects. Stinky Tom, or
yeah,
whatever his name
no.
is. Dreads.
Stinky.
Isn't that his name? Tom.
It is not Stinky.
Tim. It's Tim. I'm gonna clear my palate here with some pretzels. Do you want to talk about Heart and Soul at all?
It's Eric Melvin.
Eric. Yes, he talks about being stinky in a couple of. I
Oh,
can call
yes,
him
it's
Stinky.
what did you call him?
Stinky Tom.
Stinky Tom.
Well, sure.
Jenny's gonna talk about her youth with a mouthful of pretzels.
Okay.
So I went to something called DCLA. Did anyone here go to DCLA?
I did not.
I think it was like Youth for Christ, Campus Crusade for Christ, something like that. But it was either in DC or LA, and it was every 3 or 4 years. So I went.
Hence
In
DCLA.
Yeah, they're really creative. So I went to LA in '97, and I got to see the OC Supertones.
Oh, snap.
And that was pretty sweet. And then, so I got into punk via Christian ska.
Okay.
The only way.
Well, it's kind of like our drinking tonight. You start out with a light, and then you
you
like
go.
add on. So yeah, I started out with like Supertones and 5-Iron.
Yeah.
And then started
Straight to black tar heroin.
straight.
AKA Ballydouse. I don't know.
I listened to them for a while.
I think we all were.
Yeah, but like the thing you guys talked about in the first episode with the pamphlet or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
where it
Yes.
was like, if you like Nine Inch Nails, you'll love
Right.
POD
Electric.
or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I definitely was raised in the era of you burn all your CDs that are not Christian.
Yeah.
Did you ever
And
do that?
I did not do that.
Did
you
I
give them
was
away?
in the world, but I was not of the world.
Dang. Oh, you definitely have to tell everybody about the Lazy Susans.
No, I did not.
Please. Okay, I'll tell it for
No,
you.
what is
Jenny's high school band
Oh, yes.
was incredible.
Like fan band,
Well,
like not real.
You had some real lyrics.
I was the songwriter of a band that no one played any instruments.
But give us some of the lyrics
Well,
to Natural Blonde, your
yeah.
biggest hit.
It was well, I'm not gonna sing it.
Please do.
We love singing on the pod.
Would you like some more rosé?
Yeah, maybe.
Inspire.
Are you a natural blonde? Do you dye your hair with Revlon? Do you always listen to society's ways, or do you listen to the father who made this place?
Yes.
See why I married this woman.
Oh man.
Society's ways.
This is some teenage politics shit right here.
So it was just around that time that I feel like once you get into that world, you just become absorbed.
Yeah.
And then my high school, one of the 3 high school youth groups that I went to, because I was Super C times 3.
We used to say that all the time.
Samesies.
Did you go to this place too?
Did
you go to Heart and Soul?
Of course I did. Yeah.
So I started going there.
Young and punk in the 90s
in the Chicagoland
area. You probably know.
You went to Heart and Soul Cafe.
Did you two ever meet? When did you meet?
I don't think so.
Did you just meet at North Park?
Yes. We were in the same scene, but I don't think we ever bumped. We were probably in this,
were there.
We were probably in the room at the same time, but never knew each other.
Yeah. So Heart and Soul was 90s style coffee shop, cafe, and then they had shows, and then on Saturday night they had a service, but it was punk rock.
The politics of Heart and Soul leaned a little bit right in
but I feel like that was more from I don't even know, because I feel like the people that I know that started it are actually rather progressive.
Okay.
But there's just that.
But the theology, I feel like there were times when I was there where they're let's have
Be slain in the spirit.
The sort of the laying hands of healing and stuff.
Charismatic.
That's true.
There's some charismatic stuff going on during the Saturday night worship, but then other days it was they'd have. I mean, how often did Squad 5-0 play there?
Oh my gosh.
I saw 5
they were like existence?
It's not in existence anymore.
No. Squad 5-0 was pretty much the house band. I feel like they were there.
Awesome.
They were there so much.
Waterdeep. I saw Waterdeep there.
POD.
Skillet.
Project 86.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Did MXPX ever play there?
I don't think so.
There were two. I think there were two, maybe two big.
Mike, let us know.
Yeah, Mike.
Hit us up. What's your favorite MXPX show memory? Cornerstone. Tell us about Cornerstone.
Oh my gosh.
because Jenny was not on the pod for the Cornerstone ep, which was the slowly going the way of the Buffalo ep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I just said that you reported that it was stinky,
hot,
and dirty.
It was so hot.
Hot as hell. Because you were in the middle of Bushnell, Illinois.
Right.
No, it was
Cornfields.
it was a field. There was no relief from.
Did you go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went for a handful of times.
So you also didn't meet there.
We also did not meet there.
Well, you
Probably in
might
the
have met
pit
me
with
because
each
I
other.
was literally, I had sun poisoning and I was vomiting on the 3rd day. Maybe that's why I hated it so much.
While you saw Third Day? Christian
I
band
saw
jokes.
Jesus Rise. I'm trying to remember who I'm sure I saw MXPX there. I was in high school and I'm shocked now as a parent that my parents let me go because I'm it got crazy and
Sorry. Briefly interject. My French bulldog is snorting audibly right now.
Hold on. What do you have to say?
She was at a lot of the early 2000s shows, but she fell off before everything.
me or the dog?
The dog.
Okay.
Yeah, Harriet. Harriet
I will
was
just say
a
that I remember
huge MXPX head back in the late 90s.
Continue.
No, I don't know. I just was gonna say that I remember being less at MXPX shows, but some more of the hardcore shows. I would get into the pit and I look back and I'm I don't know. I wasn't doing anything. I don't know what possessed me
You were
to
ripping it up.
Yeah, it was just
were
feminine. It was just feminism.
Yeah.
I just
Well, who are some of those bands?
babe. Yeah.
Officer Negative. Anybody?
Oh, I remember.
I
Officer
remember them.
Negative.
I'm trying to think of hardcore bands. I'm sure we've talked about all of these at some point.
I don't know. not hardcore, but like, didn't Living Sacrifice play
They played.
Probably.
at
Stavesacre probably played.
Stavesacre? You know what? I listened to Stavesacre some recently. I was not into Stavesacre back in the 90s because I was a decidedly punk kid, and Stavesacre was more
Metal-y.
well, not even metally. They were like, I guess they might be in the vein of like alternative rock. They were more rock. They might fall into the category of like almost being kind of like Tool,
Sure.
or something like that. But I've listened to one of their albums recently, and they're actually really good. And I don't think I gave them enough.
Yeah. I was never huge into them, but I owe a Stavesacre revisit.
Yeah. I think we all do, because they released an album last year. They're still
Wow, really? Did
Yeah,
not
Mark.
realize that.
I think it's Mark Solomon. I think
Sounds right.
I'm getting that right. Yeah, we should.
Is it Pinot time?
It's Pinot.
I saw Jennifer Knapp in
Noir.
high school for the
I
record.
saw Jennifer Knapp at Cornerstone
She
right before she came out.
And then I saw Jennifer Knapp in college or post-college after she came out.
Wow.
And I thought that was cool. And I bought her album and I shook her hand and spoke to her.
Oh,
And
did you? Because she had
thanked
a.
her for sharing because it was really brave.
Because
she
that
had
was
a-
like, I don't know. She was like one of the first
Yeah.
people from like Christian world, the evangelical Christian world, to come out.
I think so. I mean, I don't think. I can't think of. I can think of the most analogous person I can think of would be somebody like Amy Grant, who got a divorce and was like
Shunned.
by the Christian community.
Did I tell you the interview is locked? I'm going to be interviewing Amy Grant for the
Oh,
magazine.
it is? Nice.
So,
Can you
little
Can you
tease.
please tell her that I loved her as a child?
No.
Will do.
Can you
Can
tell
you tell
her,
her that I had a
can I-
laser disc of her concert and
Can
I
you-
memorized every move?
John, can I give you my Amy Grant Christmas album to have her sign?
So it's Christmas themed, this interview, because she's got a new Christmas special coming out.
John, you did
She
not
doesn't need
answer my
one.
damn question.
The answer is no, because it's a phone interview, so...
Fuck.
My bad. I'm drunk. My bad.
Well, you're just doing
Dana
what
has
she,
something to
yeah,
say.
she was going to say pod, and she said pie, and you said bid, and you meant to say bad.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that when I saw Jennifer Knapp the second time, she talked about how there was an older couple that she really admired, and she really had a hard time telling them her truth. And what I remember from her story is that she said, I think she thought they would be very unaffirming. But when she shared with them, I think they were, or maybe they came around. And so the message from the story was, this being a very progressive podcast with progressive listeners, I'm assuming, the point was share with people and give them the opportunity to hear you.
Yeah.
As that being a kind of a change agent and a like
Would
don't
you say that that's punk rock?
Yeah.
I would.
speak your truth.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
But giving people don't judge everybody before you
Yeah.
let
Right.
them hear you or
Yeah.
let them interact with something
Right.
new.
Wasn't
so I
it
thought
like
that was very
give them the opportunity to surprise you.
Yeah.
Something like
That's
that.
cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. You know what else is good? Pinot Noir.
Well, should we start a Jennifer Knapp podcast? Like, is that what's...
The Napcast is coming, and I am down.
John?
Because I feel like I would... You know, they say, like, write what you know, but I've recently heard, like, write what you would be interested in learning. And I'm like, I would want to learn
that.
more about Jennifer
her
do it.
journey.
Let's get her on the pod.
Did she write a book or anything? Okay, sorry.
We'll find out.
We'll follow up.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I can
John-
only assume she'll be on the pod.
Progressive
Because
fans want to
John
know.
and I already have like
Several
90 different pods. So we already have the Def Leppard.
I'm convinced we're gonna do a special episode of the Def Leppard.
We have to do Def Leppard.
Def Lep pod.
Def Leppard.
No, I understand. I'm just trying to, like, break it down.
I think it's
not that clever.
Oh wow.
Wow.
You sound like some of our listeners.
Yeah. So Pinot Noir is typically a light body red, as I was saying. But it says that this is on the more bold end of the spectrum, but has cranberry and currant
Oh my
notes.
goodness, who writes these things?
Mike.
The refined tannic finish is exceptionally elegant.
Gunsmoke.
That's what I'm addressing.
There's gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke.
This
I
is
do detect some.
Joe
Second
Mox-
Amendment
hey,
rights.
Hey, Joe Moxley, who writes the copy
Yeah.
for Anchor Valley Wine? We'll get him on the pod.
Get him on the pod.
And are
yeah.
women drawn into a description of Gunsmoke? This is my question.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is
This is more my style.
this is more my speed. Pinot Noirs tend to be kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
Because they can kind of be a little too light for me. I like to have a more
I agree.
more
More of
bold.
a cab.
I'm more of a cab sav.
Yeah, me too.
Fan. I'll do a Malbec. I'll do a Merlot.
Yeah.
I typically don't lean towards a Pinot because they're not as. But this has the it does.
Yeah.
I got
my nose in there.
I got the cranberry. I got the cranberry in there for sure.
I always say Pinot Noir, Rosambar. Listen to Tom Berenger. This is not the first time we've referenced Pinot Noir from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on the pod.
No, it's not. What do you both think?
This is my favorite of the
Yeah, me
three.
too.
I like this.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
can
care
tell.
for the
Raving.
Gunsmoke reference.
Yeah, that's a little
I don't like to
weird.
be associated with
Smells like,
violence in any way.
it smells like backwards
Hashtag
policy
vegan.
and sort
Yep.
of. Anyway,
Revenge, Pinot Noir, smoke a cigar. Revenge can be spectacular. Here's the Pinot Noir caviar Myanmar mid-size car.
I can see why the Gris won some awards. Like
Yes.
it's just complex.
Yep.
But the Noir is just more. The Noir is just more my style. That's how I said it.
I just like this Noir. It's really good. It's good wine.
So basically, we finished 3 bottles in 10 minutes.
Good job, us. Did anybody have any additional MXPX or wine-related thoughts?
I just remember a rumor in high school that when MXPX toured, they filled their bathtub with ice cubes and beer. And I remember all of us were scandalized by like such a rumor that they were drinking on tour.
Oh my, Mike.
Bathtubs
Confirm
full of
or
ice and
deny?
beer.
Like that they liked their beer cold.
How dare they?
That was the scandal. That was what scandalized you.
I remember where I was when I discussed.
Oh my! This is traumatizing for you.
I can still smell the scent of
No, I remember I was in a Wendy's.
wow, baked potato,
Yeah.
frosty.
Because you were next door.
Because I was next door to Heart and
Heart and
Soul.
Soul.
Obviously.
Heart and Soul was next door to a Wendy's, so pretty much everybody at Heart and Soul ate Wendy's
All the time.
Great life.
the
So
time.
gross.
Get slain in the spirit and go get a frosty. It's the best life.
Pretty good Saturday night.
Hashtag best life.
I remember somebody saying, I saw somebody smoke a joint with MXPX after a show once, and like, just being like, I don't know how to process that,
Right.
but it was probably true.
I think at a certain point in my life, that kind of news probably would
Would have
have
rocked your world.
destroyed me.
Would you have prayed for them? Or
Probably.
just dismissed them?
Yeah, just lost cause at that point.
No, I don't. I think it probably would have made me sad. I think it probably would have like hurt me.
I have
Yeah.
a question for you both.
Yes.
I don't know if you've addressed this on the podcast previously, but being that from high school years, you had such deep respect for Mike Carrera, and he was a role model who had tattoos. Is he someone who helped both of you to feel like tattoos are not a bad thing, but a cool thing or a good thing?
Well,
Do you
Me-
have tattoos?
I have.
Here's my story.
Wow.
So Andrew and I were together, and I wanted to be with him, and spontaneously, impulsively, he got a tattoo, and we were apart. He had gone on a trip to California, and I was talking on the phone to his friend, and you had it before he did, I think, because I had seen yours, and I was like, oh, some people have Christian tattoos, okay. And I didn't grow up knowing anybody with tattoos, but my image of a tattoo was like, that's what men have, like creepy shoulder tattoos, and or like skulls or mom or something, and it's only leather dudes who go to bars. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I thought, this is weird. Andrew gets this tattoo.
Yes.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I'm speaking to a friend of ours on the phone who's with Andrew. And I said, what do we tell our not existent future children? Because he has something on his body now. Oh my gosh, this is a big deal.
He has something on his body now.
That's not how I said it, but like I was afraid, tattoos
Sure.
are bad.
Yeah.
What does this
Right.
mean? But our wise friend said something really wonderful, and he said, well, they'll know that their father is so committed to peace that he has marked it on his body.
That's cool.
Yes, so that was paradigm changing for me. So I'm
Is
asking.
that what the tattoo is?
Yeah, it's a
Oh, okay.
symbol of broken rifles.
Anti-flag.
Yeah. We were going to post some of these tat pics.
Yeah.
But
might need to now.
My question for you both is,
Yeah.
do you remember consciously having Mike as a role model, being someone who showed you that tattoos were cool
Yeah.
or symbolized something that you valued?
In fact, we've talked about this on the pod already.
Okay.
Numerous times.
Okay.
Oh,
Those are episodes I
if
haven't
only
heard.
we listened, Dana.
I've heard several.
No, so this is
Full
that is a thank you for sharing for that story, but because it was I that was one of the stories that I do remember where I was standing at the moment, because it was one of those like moments for me as well, because it was sort of a shifting moment for you, and I was there with Ezekiel when you were talking on the phone with him. I passed my phone to him to talk to you because you were concerned. But the
Don't laugh, guys.
No,
No, I was laughing at his
I'm
word
laughing
choice.
at his description.
no, but so Mike Herrera, MXPX on the cover. John and I addressed this episode 1. We've addressed it probably in other episodes, but we definitely addressed it on the cover. That how cool and sexy Mike looks in this picture.
Much like the rosé.
Yes,
Exactly.
it is.
He's
Much
looking
like-
very rosé-full.
It is. Mike is like
Oh,
a
man. Just opening this,
sexy-
I feel like I am transported to high school. This is crazy.
Yep. It's so Mike has had tattoos like exclusively since I don't think he's not had tattoos since I've been buying their records. So
I just had another mistakes moment. Sorry.
let's hear it. Drop the
Oh,
that
I
truth.
just literally had a flashback in my mind to the Chick Magnet video and how many times me and my friends would do the like take your like pinky and your pointer finger and lick that like
and
put them
then
to your tongue
over
and
your
then put them
eyebrows.
to your eyebrows and go like we would do that and then you do the like over to the we did that and we were like girls. I don't know. I have not thought about that in years.
It's a great
but
video.
yeah, I was into Mike. Oh, sorry, honey.
I'm into Mike.
I was into Mike, and my best friend was
This-
into Tom.
Okay,
Yeah,
here's
Tom.
the thing.
I'm into Yuri.
No one is into.
Oh, this is not the
Sorry.
first time you've been on this
Edit that
episode.
out.
No,
Sorry, that's
we've
me.
already discussed this on this
You
video
know what? As I'm
episode.
looking at him now, like if I was his mom, I would be proud.
In conclusion, Anchor Valley wine, good for moms. Yuri, proud by his mom.
Good for Anchor Valley.
The mom take by Jenny.
Anchor Valley. Good for moms. Good for Yuri.
Mike is hot. Tom also hot. Yuri, bet his mom is proud of him. We've already decided Yuri's never coming on the pod, so it's fine.
Oh
See,
man.
but he wasn't a Christian, right? That was also the controversy.
Whoa, no, I've never heard this.
I've never heard
Sounds
this.
like
What?
a rumor.
This sounds like some
Hit us
straight
with the gossip.
Oh, I
What's
heard that Yuri
some
was not a Christian.
hot goss.
I don't believe that's correct.
I don't know about this.
Is this the bathtubs full of ice people?
These are the
Possibly.
same people who were scandalizing you with.
I'm pretty sure I heard that he was not a Christian. Because
Well,
only.
he
Yeah,
is
I don't
now.
know. He is now. That's cool. Or
I
something.
I will say that, and we've talked about this on the pod already, that I would draw my tattoo on my arm in high school before I got it,
Oh, I'm so glad you like it then.
influenced by Mike's or somebody's tattoo in an MXPX video that had the ichthus thing in it.
Oh.
So it came directly from somebody in the band.
John, that's amazing.
Yeah. Don't know if
I
I
never
will
knew
get
that,
this tattoo today, but it's fine.
Well,
Oh, is that how you feel?
our kids know you're so committed
Sure.
to what's the thing? not
Well,
peace,
this one's
but
not peace, but to the Lord, I guess. That's fine.
yeah, it's great, honey.
That's well,
Man, this is like, it's just crazy because so many of my memories in high school are like driving in my parents' minivan and listening to like when I just looked at that on the cover, I was like, this is the soundtrack of my youth.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Samesies.
Seems like you should listen to the pod.
Okay.
You're our core demographic.
You're our core
No,
demographic.
honey, but you guys swear, and I'm trying to listen to clean stuff because I have the kids in the back.
Oh man.
Wow.
So
'Cause I'm usually
sounds
driving.
Sounds like she needs to listen to Blink 155 then.
Yeah. No E.
That
That's the Blink 182 pod.
There's a
Blink 155.
Blink 155, Canada, one of Canada's Blink 182 podcasts.
Right. There are many. They go through all 155 Blink songs. That's their
Is
goal.
that why they're called Blink 182?
No, but that's
that
why
doesn't
they're
make
called
sense.
Blink 155.
Because they have 155.
Oh, I get it. Okay, got it.
All right.
No, but here's John. Late breaking news.
Let's hear it.
There's going to be a crossover app with us in Blink 155.
Ooh.
They want to do a joint.
Let's
a
do
joint
it.
They don't
pod
want to do a
episode.
joint.
They want to do a joint, just
They wanna
like
do a
Mike.
joint. I'm
just
out.
Call Mike Carrera.
Mike
allegedly.
Carrera. Mike Carrera
From
in-
20 years
One
ago.
time.
From
Yeah.
20 with he's smoking a joint in a bathtub full
Have
of
you
beer.
guys gotten to the amazingness that is the fact that they were on the series finale of Fixer Upper?
We haven't talked about Fixer Upper.
we
I don't
haven't
think,
talked about
have we?
Fixer Upper because
Well, their label looks like it was designed by.
It does.
It has a little. I mean,
Yeah.
a little of the Joanna Gaines
I agree.
flair.
This is like current?
yes,
Yeah, well, yes, the show
Last
just
up.
ended like last year, and they were the last. I think it was the last episode of the whole series
so I
because they moved.
full
away-
disclosure,
moved from
I haven't
Farmington.
seen that episode.
We could watch it upstairs.
I would love to watch it, but this relates to what you
Spouse
just
pod
said.
turns into spouse sleepover.
Yep. So here's the thing. This is amazing because throwback to Riker, who left us that message that his Teenage Politics album is Secret Weapon,
Right.
and like everybody gets introduced to MXPX at a different point in their life, and I was looking at their association essentially is what I'm saying. I was looking through Instagram and I follow all kinds of MXPX hashtags on Instagram, and I saw this one that someone had posted a picture of Mike, and this person said, "Is that the guy from Fixer Upper?" And I'm like, oh my god, that is
If you
that is
Google-
their association, like
Yeah.
the guy from that episode of Fixer Upper, and I'm just like, that's how most people think of Mike, is that guy from that HGTV show.
I will
If
say,
you-
you guys should have Chip Gaines on your podcast because he was like very intimidating. He was a fan.
Yeah,
so
he
you would.
was.
I'd be curious.
Chip, hit
Hit
us up.
I
Slide
assume
into
you
our
listen.
DMs. Chip, he's not only is Chip
He's
a
a new
big
father.
MX.
He's busy, guys.
Not only
That's true.
Chip-
Perfect
For
time to
the
listen to
sixth
pods.
time.
while
perfect,
you're
yeah.
feeding the
So
baby.
here's what he's not only is he a big MXPX head, pretty sure Chip Gaines, giant moonhead.
I think so. I assume.
I would assume. Who,
Bob Moon. We had him on the show last week. If you would have listened, it was a good
I know
interview.
this reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bob Moon, greatest guy of all time. Love this guy. He's no, we're not.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for being on the show.
If
Thank
you
thank
Google Mike Herrera, like the second page results is like Fixer Upper stuff. So it's like
Is it?
it's very prominent.
Who goes to the second page of Google results?
I was first of all,
that is a legit question, John.
I
Thank
think
you.
I was looking for something
Well, thorough
specific.
research.
Maybe it was for fanfic. It's hard to say.
Hold on. Oh, okay, Google. Mike Herrera.
Do you mean Fixer
According
Upper?
to Wikipedia, Michael Arthur Herrera is an American singer, songwriter, and musician best known as the lead vocalist, bassist, and songwriter for the punk rock band MXPX.
And he was on Fixer Upper.
Though the picture they have is a very untatted Mike neck and face, or so it seems.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got that.
All right,
He's
it's
still
hard
got
to
that
see.
snake bite.
Mike, I would just like to say to you personally, I appreciate that you are a family man.
It's true.
See the moments like this video.
See the moments like this.
For
He would,
of as much.
you know, if he would bend over. What is it?
You made me watch that video?
No, not that one.
Okay.
Let's Ride is the one I made you watch. Any closing comments, everybody? I think we tasted and rated and shared our memories.
Is there anything else I want to talk about?
I would like to say that in college, we shared how you two know each other. In college, folks would talk about having a friend crush on you, Mr. John,
Wow.
because you were so cool. And I was in a class with you, a sociology class, before we were really friends, and our professor had us go around and say what social issue we were really passionate about.
What
and
did I say?
Well,
Something dumb.
No, it was
the opposite.
excellent. Do you remember me telling you this?
Yes, I know the story because
That's what I said.
changing
Well,
lives.
I knew I cared about things, but didn't know enough to understand systemic injustice. But it got to you, and you were like, prison reform and criminal justice, and
I do remember that, actually.
I just thought, oh my gosh,
I
that's
thought I
so
said it so
amazing that he knows so much about this.
Oh,
Anyway,
I
so
don't know.
cool then, cool now. Way to go, pod listeners.
Well,
Thank you.
I also, this is first time on the pod. Also had a friend crush on John Potter in college. We hung out we were like friend adjacent. Like
Sure.
we like had similar friend groups, but we didn't like hang out on the reg or anything. But I'm like, this guy's like punk rock, plays bass in the
My other memories of you jumping, playing bass on stage, jumping.
Yeah.
in the worship band on Saturday night.
Thanks, guys.
at
Sunday
There's a-
night.
Yes.
Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday night. Sorry. And I'm like,
You were
dare
confusing
you.
it with Heart and Soul.
I was, yep. But I'm like, yeah. So let's all just stroke John's ego here for a moment.
Yeah. I
But
don't
way to
know.
be a man of
I had an
conviction.
actual crush on
Thanks,
you.
Wow. This is a very
And Jenny
affirming
and
thing.
I, if the pod listeners don't know, we became friends when we were both new college freshmen, and our rooms were like 4 doors apart.
3 doors down.
It's all coming together.
3 doors down, huge
wasn't.
3 doors down page.
No, I
Big
think they were actually
punk
4
rock.
doors down.
Intelligence.
I was
'Cause I
306. What were you? 302?
Well,
I,
how do you remember
yeah,
that?
I don't remember
I
any
remember
of that.
many things.
I think I
Because
was
it's Dana?
311 my freshman year, and I was like, yeah, 311.
428, fourth floor, Berg Hall.
Yeah, 420 plus 8 more.
Yeah, me and my freshman roommate were definitely not smoking weed because we were such squares.
Not like Mike. Thanks for the conversation,
Well, wait,
guys.
didn't they say that they smoked weed, but they didn't say Mike did?
No, they said the band smoked. with
Oh.
them.
Well, because Yuri wasn't a Christian.
Yeah, he
was
was.
probably- it was
they
probably-
were-
lazy.
their
It was-
band was unequally yoked.
It was it was probably Yuri who was scoring all that dank weed, that dank
Typical
bud, that's
So maybe
stanky.
his mom isn't proud of that.
His mom is not proud of Yuri
Poor
anymore.
Yuri.
Poor Yuri.
Thank you, spouses, for your
this
insights.
is how we talk to our wives.
I think this was a wonderful segment.
Yes.
And I look forward to you not listening to any future episodes, but perhaps being future guests.
Yes.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
It was
Cheers.
fun. I feel like
Here, let's cheers to Anchor Valley wine, to MXPX, and
To a double gold friendship.
And peace to you, listeners.
Yeah.
Continue to rock on.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Can I call you sweetheart? Or even baby doll?
shout out to Anchor Valley Wine. John, if you were to give a top 3, how would you rank of the 3 wines?
I'm going number 1,
Number
Pinot
1.
Noir.
Okay.
Number 2, Pinot Gris.
Okay.
Even though I recognize it's gold winning
Double
greatness, double gold, and 3 rosé. How about you?
I would probably do the same.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's hard to trump the red.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean,
It was good.
I do really like the Pinot Gris, but
Yeah.
I'm overall a red fan.
Yeah.
So, but the Pinot Noir is great. I would suggest if you can get your hands on it, go to anchorvalleywine.com.
Yeah.
Snag some bottles if you're in the area of, Southern Oregon.
Yeah. Those grapes.
Goes the Rogue Valley grapes.
Bring your partners, spouses, enjoy them.
Get your hands on some bottles. And so on the next episode, John, what are we lying about next episode?
First, I'd like to say, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MagnifiedPod.
Yes.
Hit us up email, magnifiedpod@gmail.com.
Boom.
Leave us a voicemail at 872-762-4763 or 872-7MAGPOD. And rate and review us, subscribe, Apple Podcasts, iTunes,
YouTube,
Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. Anything else?
I don't think so. We should thank our wives again for putting up with us and
Thank you.
Joining us on the pod and giving their hot takes.
It's been a beautiful, beautiful journey.
What kind of journey has it been?
Beautiful. It's been a beautiful journey.
It's been very nice.
On the next episode, we'll actually cover the Renaissance EP?
Question mark?
When it'll be time for a podcast at our house. And it wouldn't be the same without you. So join us, won't you?
I seen it come around. It's not what I expected. I guess I must have known all along. I'd always been rejected.